arpeggio technique, and he says that you don't sweep. You actually pick every single.
No, I do sweep.
But on all the arpeggio?
No, not all of them.
Different techniques. So he wants to know more about how do you build your arpeggio technique.
Tell him that many of the arpeggios I do sweep, but not 100. For example, a simple arpeggio, this one. It's just basic sweeping. But when I do smaller arpeggios, sometimes I'll go. I will double pick the note. So instead of going like a. I will do picking. It's not quite sweeping. It's actually alternate picking arpeggios very, very fast. That's why I get that sound. You know, it's funny. No one knew I did that. I never talked about it. But people can see that on videos now. But tell them. See, here's what I do. For example, let me show you. Here's sweeping. So I would go like this, down, then up, but I don't do that. I go. See, so it gets them, and really when you play it very fast, like on No Boundaries, I go. I alternate pick the sweep like that.
There's a double pick in between.
There's
when
a
you
double
come
pick.
off, so it sounds fuller.
Well, it sounds more like a machine gun, you know. It's like you know. That's the thing that I love.
Amazing.
I like Frank Gambale very much, the economy picking, but he does not like alternate picking at all. He hates it. And where I don't, I love all the techniques because I think it's good to know every technique because. And Frank is one of the greatest players in the world. He's a DV Mark endorsee. Well, what if I asked Frank, I said, Frank, I don't want you to economy pick this. I want you to alternate pick this riff. And he'd probably go, F off, right? You know? But there is a reason for different techniques. They're like different, I don't want to sound crazy like American. I've never shot a gun in my life. But they're more weapons in the arsenal. So if I can sweep, if I can alternate pick, if I can economy pick, if I can tap, if I can play legato, those are all different weapons to use. One is not better than the other. You would never hear Paganini say, this technique is better than this. You use whatever sounds good. And so that's my thinking. But with the sweeps, tell them that I do those extra picks for the tone.
Well, he noticed, of course, you're using the DV Mark Multiamp, which is a pretty complete machine.
Yes.
And you're also using a very few pedals. One of them is branded for you. And
yeah.
He's asking if you, since the Multiamp has many features, if you use just those pedals all the time, even on huge stages, or is it just a clinic, small pedal board, and maybe tonight you're going to use a larger one?
I only use one overdrive, and this is a tuner. Okay. I signed this endorsement agreement before DV Mark. Okay. They make very good pedals. It's only one overdrive pedal. I could use the overdrive in the amp too. The overdrive in the amp is great. I use the overdrive here, but I use it, I'm used to it, but I could use the overdrive here too, get the same sound. But I like the effects in the DV Mark Multiamp, they're amazing. So I use a little bit of delay. 325 milliseconds. So I like that for lead guitar. But if I had, for example, a MIDI pedal board and set up an overdrive on it, I could use that too. But tell them it's only one pedal, just one overdrive. And then for my double, it's one overdrive for this.
Sure.
Yeah, but the Multiamp sounds amazing. When I play big concerts, I sometimes use a gigantic, I have 20 pedals, but only a few of them are plugged in. So I don't use a lot of pedals. I just don't. Zach Wild doesn't use a lot. Even people like Mark Tremonti. My sound is here and here, and I very minimal. I think from playing that way, I developed my own sound because I'm relying on the amplifier, a guitar, and my fingers. You know, so the tone becomes more me rather than having lots of. But I use in the studio the harmonize. I use a lot of the effects here, the compression. I use, how can I say? When I'm recording, we use the multi-amp on the new Nitro album. It sounds wow. It sounds great.
Mike,
Yes.
do you plug your multi-amp straight into the desk when you record, or do you mic it on the
No, straight into the desk. I do that live too. No microphones, right here. Always in concert. I don't like microphones because it's too different, but we use the XLR in the back. It's perfect.
Who is the guitarist that influenced you the most?
Me. You know,
Yeah.
I do not have one
Okay.
because I don't listen to music just for a guitar. I listen to songs that I like. So when I was a boy, for example, the song, let me think of one. Even a song like Train Kept a Rollin' by Aerosmith. Do you know that song? It's a... It's Aerosmith. Train Kept a Rollin'. It is an old blues song, and the lead was so great on that song. And I find out years later, Joe Perry did not play it. He's not the guitarist. Because I never heard him sound that good. It was a session guitarist, beautiful guitar playing. So I listen to songs first. Sometimes I just listen to guitar. For example, Yngwie Malmsteen in Alcatraz. The band Alcatraz, you know?
Yeah.
I hated Alcatraz. I hated the sound of that band, so what I did is I just recorded only Yngwie solos.
Okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that band, and it doesn't mean they're not good, but when it comes to guitars, 100. Joe Pass, Eric Clapton. I am not really influenced by Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
I love Jimi Hendrix, but see, Jimi Hendrix to me was like, wow, 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 wow.
Showman.
You cannot write that. I cannot. I'm more of the Bach, Mozart,
Yeah.
Paganini school. I
Yeah.
like it. If you said Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton for me, because I can write his notes.
Yeah.
I understand. I might not be able to play it with the feeling, but how the hell do you write Jimi Hendrix? So if we had no recordings of Jimi Hendrix, we would know nothing about him. I mean, and so, but that's I never understood for many years why I didn't like Jimi Hendrix as much as Eric Clapton. I feel the same with Eddie Van Halen. I love Eddie Van Halen, but many of his solos are wow, which is great. It is great, but it's not me. See, I prefer Gary Moore. I prefer many other guitarists, Richie Blackmore, because I understand the notes. The notes that Richie Blackmore plays can be played on cello, violin, flute, but how do you play Jimi Hendrix on a flute? You know, you can't. That doesn't mean he's not great,
Yeah.
but it's my thinking.